So this is something a lot of well owners don't realize. Clear water does not mean clean water. And one of the most common things we find in private wells is E. coli. So, what is E. coli? Why does it matter? And how common is E. coli actually in well water? Let's break it down. If someone's on a private well, this is one of the most common questions we hear. Could my well water have E. coli? The honest answer is yes. And when it comes to bacteria in well water, it's usually not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Okay, so what is E. coli? E. coli is a type of total coliform bacteria. Coliforms are bacteria found naturally in soil, surface water, and animal feces. Thing is, most coliform bacteria aren't harmful on their own, but they're a warning sign. They tell us that your water has been contaminated and could also contain other bacteria or pathogens. So, what's the big deal with E. coli? E. coli specifically comes from animal waste. So that means if E. coli shows up in your well water, your drinking water has actually come into contact with animal waste. Yuck. That's why E. coli can cause serious gastrointestinal illness, especially for kids, older adults, and quite frankly, really anybody with weakened immune systems. This contamination is often caused by surface water runoff entering into the well, maybe a cracked or aging well casing, or a damaged or even missing well cap. So how common is E. coli contamination actually? Well, it's actually one of the most frequent problems that we see in private well water. In fact, a study by the North Carolina Department of Health found that about 2% of private wells tested positive for E. coli. You may be saying, 2%, who cares? But nationwide, that's roughly 460,000 wells that test positive for E. coli. Yikes! But here's the good news. Our DIY bacteria and water test kit makes testing for bacteria easy. You fill the vial with water and watch for a color change. It's just that simple. It detects 50 species of coliform bacteria, including E. coli. Because bacteria is often an early warning sign of bigger problems, we recommend testing at least quarterly, if not bi-monthly, if you rely on a private well. What to do if your water tests positive? First, stop drinking the water and stop cooking with it. Switch to bottled water immediately. Next, the well needs to be shock chlorinated. You can do it yourself or you can hire somebody to do it for you. After that, wait 1 to 2 weeks and then test again. You need to make sure that once it's been disinfected, that it actually took care of the bacteria. However, if it's still positive, that's a sign of a chronic issue, and a professional should come and inspect the well. Here's the bottom line. E. coli in well water is common. And yes, it can be serious, but it's also easy to detect if you're testing regularly. So, if you rely on a private well, routine testing is one of the best ways to protect your water and your family. We're Safe Home, and we believe everyone deserves a simple way to learn about their water.